Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. It is Thursday, February 7th. Have some interesting news to share with you guys. First and foremost, this is not financial or investment advice. Also, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscription button. Also, thumbs up. Now, we've got some positive sentiments coming from the folks at the SEC. And we know the SEC has been dragging their feet, but it seems like there's almost a split in or a divide with the commissioners at the SEC, because we know historically Hester Peirce has been really the champion of cryptocurrencies, really being vocal, pushing the other SEC commissioners to really be active on these things, while we've had guys like Jay Clayton who've been more standoffish, even though he's spoken at CoinDesk's consensus event, but he hasn't been very bullish. Hester's been more bullish. However, we have a new commissioner who seems to be very bullish, and that is Robert Jackson Jr., which I personally have not heard about, and it looks like he's actually new to Twitter here. He hasn't really tweeted anything, but he says he joined in December 2017, but he was recently interviewed, and actually shout out to Abacus Journal, because they published this article on February 5th saying this is kind of a leaked document where he was interviewed, and the actual interview was done by roll call, and this was published February 6th, and Hester Peirce actually tweeted this article, and here's what she said. "I look forward to working with you, Security SEC Jackson, to open the doors to innovation, but we're not a merit regulator issuing seals of approval. So let's encourage investors to do their own work to decide whether an investment is right for them." So here's the full article, but also Gabor Gorbax, the digital strategist who works at the VanEck. So this guy's with VanEck, and they've just refiled the VanEck Bitcoin ETF. He says, Commissioner Jackson is the man. That's all. I have mad respect for Hester Peirce and Jackson's work. Article and image source, Abacus Journal. My latest tweet on how a Bitcoin ETF may serve the public interest. So this was tweeted today by him. So he's obviously trying to get on the same page with them, and of course it's in his best interest, and I think for the market as well. I think a Bitcoin ETF would be big from a sentiment standpoint in changing this market from bear to bull, honestly. So let me give you at least some insight from the article, guys. But now we have two folks who are seem to be bullish on crypto, and that's a great sign, because we are waiting for a lot of clarity from the SEC and the CFTC. So a fund base on cryptocurrency will eventually pass muster at the Securities and Exchange Commission, despite the agency's denials of all previous efforts, predicts its lone Democratic commissioner. Robert J. Jackson Jr. expects some applicant to meet the minimum requirements for a crypto-based fund that could be traded by ordinary investors. A number of cryptocurrency-based applications await the agency's decision, he said in an interview, though he wouldn't speculate on whether one of those will get approval or when. He says, eventually, I do think someone will satisfy the standards that we've laid out there. I hope so, yes, and I think so, Jackson said. Several proposals to list such shares, most of them based on Bitcoin for trading among the general public, have failed to clear the SEC. Approval would be a milestone for cryptocurrencies, of which regulators have been wary, in part because of the volatile prices. Bitcoin, for example, is trading at about $3,400, down from the high of more than $19,000 in December 2017. Now, I'm not going to read through everything here, guys, but the idea is that we are seeing some positive sentiment and move in the right direction. And as we've always talked about, we have to be patient. I think a lot of these people are still learning about crypto, right? There's some, and I'm not an ageist, by the way, but there's a lot of really older folks who don't understand this technology within the government. And some do understand it, like Hester Peirce, like Mr. Jackson here, also Christopher Giancarlo on the CFTC, he recognizes it as well. So it's a bit of a waiting game because, as we've always talked about, money and politics go hand in hand. And as you see these big players, these institutional players, your Fidelities, your TD Ameritrades getting in the market, remember, these folks lobby politicians and they donate to campaigns and all that. So they have their coalitions, they have their groups, they have their lobbying groups. They can go in there and get things changed, get the laws moving in the right direction, which will benefit them, right? So just to summarize everything, positive sentiment from two. One we already know about, which is Hester Pierce, but also we got another champion for cryptocurrency, and that is Robert J. Jackson. So shout out to him. And it looks like they're saying that something could get approved. Who knows when, though, guys? Who knows when? Because we also know the government may shut down again in the United States within like another week and a half or so, because the temporary approval to open the government is temporary. It's like it was a 3-week thing. So let's see what happens. I know we keep getting delays, right? And a lot of it's because of the government. So let's see what happens, but at least I'll take it. Positive sentiment. And once again, goes back to what I've been talking about. Watch what the big money's doing and watch what the governments are doing. Both are setting the stage for this market, this new asset class to take off. Now, we got some news here, which is very interesting, out from the block. So, institutional crypto broker sees market shifting to mildly bullish in February. Interesting. SFOX, a crypto institutional broker-dealer, which recently raised $20 million led by Social Capital and Tribe Capital, released their January volatility report, refreshing volatility, correlations, and other metrics to date in 2019. The full report can be viewed here. Okay, so as you can see here, according to them, multi-factor market index, mildly bullish. I'll take it, guys. I'll take it. If there's some bullish sentiment that's starting to build up here because of all these things that are being built out, right? Money being raised and services and so forth, I will take it. And maybe we've hit the bottom. Maybe we haven't. But this looks like it's moving, according to these folks, in the right direction. So the SFOX multi-factor market index has swung from moderately bearish entering 2019 to moderately bullish entering February. The index is a proprietary model that looks at quantifiable market factors such as volatility, market sentiments, news coverage, and adoption. So like I said, just because of all the things that have been happening and we've been, talking about, guys, the facts, we're seeing a shift. I think some of the folks are getting a bit bullish, and just even, look at the news on the SEC, right? So interesting stuff here, and I hope so, guys. I hope the next bull run's around the corner. I don't think it will, start organically. I think it will take like a decision for, like, let's say BACT gets approval or a Bitcoin ETF gets approved by the SEC. I think those things can certainly move this needle all the way to bullish, guys, because it will be an emotional lift, right? Just even from a mental standpoint and all that, it could, just because the market's been such in a down mode, and something that would open up opportunities for big money to come in, like an ETF backed, getting approval and so forth. Now, we got some big news. So you guys remember we talked about Voyager. If you remember, I told you about their referral program. I had put a link in my video for you guys to sign up. I'm signed up, waiting for access. Well, here's the headline. Crypto broker led by Uber and E-Trade alums is going public. So Voyager was founded by one of the founders of Uber. It's a cryptocurrency brokerage startup. It's going public on Canada's TSX Venture Exchange through a reverse merger valued at $60 million. Money is being invested and moved in this market big time. A reverse merger occurs when a privately held company acquires the majority of shares in a publicly traded one, and the two firms are combined. In this case, New York-based Voyager Digital Holdings acquired UC Resources Ltd., the shell of mineral exploration company that ceased operation in 2015, in an all-stock deal finalized earlier this week. announced Thursday the merged entity, renamed Voyager Digital Canada Ltd., will begin trading on February 11th on TSX, a subsidiary of TMX Group, the parent of the Toronto Stock Exchange. Stephen Elric, co-founder and CEO of Voyager, told CoinDesk that the ability to issue publicly traded shares will give his company a currency in the figurative sense with which to make acquisitions to build its nascent business. This is big. So here's a quote from him. "We're actively looking for parts of the crypto ecosystem that fit with us, that fit with our mission and our culture," said Elric, who oversaw 8 acquisitions as CEO of online brokerage, stock brokerage Lightspeed Financial, and earlier ran the professional trading business of E-Trade. Wow, guys, I'm talking big players and movers getting in this market, setting up shop, and the fact that they're taking their crypto brokerage exchange services, and you remember they're going to have the app, right? You can use the Voyager app to buy crypto and all that. It's going to go public in Canada through reverse merger, and I can imagine they'll probably try to do the same in the United States. So huge news. We are very much in the infrastructure stage, and big moves are happening. Now, I know many folks are going to comment below, probably some who don't have perspective or they're new to the market. The prices are moving. I'm tired of this. Why? You got to have patience. And I always give the analogy, Google and Amazon and eBay didn't become giants overnight. It took years, right? I don't think we'll have to wait as long because the dot-com boom was built on a slow internet, right, so to speak. The adoption of the internet's already adopted, and blockchain and crypto run on it, and technology and information moves a lot faster now. So I think we won't have to wait as long, and things, like I said, move a lot faster. So, but we still have to be patient. But this is why I try to share the facts with you guys. So if you find yourself getting angry, like at the facts or the news, then maybe you need to take a break from crypto, right? Maybe you need to step away because you're getting too emotionally worked up around the price. And you have to have perspective when it comes to the market. Now, big news coming out from ErisX. As you guys know, ErisX is on the same level as BACT. It's going to be a major crypto exchange for institutional investors, custody services, and so forth. And as you know, the news that was put out last year that TD Ameritrade is backing them, and they went and got other investors as well. Well, ErisX fills C-suite spot with former Barclays exec as it eyes its launch for its institutional crypto exchange. Oh, look at that. A guy from Barclays. We've been talking about the mass exodus of traditional markets over to crypto, and it's amazing to watch this happen. So let's see. The C-suite at ErisX is fully staffed. The institutional grade exchange announced 3 new hires Thursday as it prepares for the launch of its spot marketplace for crypto in Q2. Led by former Citigroup executive Thomas Chipas, ErisX also aims to offer trading in a number of physically delivered futures. So that's why I said it's on the same level as BACT. They're looking to do the same thing, guys, including ones tied to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. ErisX is looking to attract traditional investors and traders to its market, which it says will be regulated by the CFTC. So like I said, same thing as BACT. As of Thursday's announcement, the firm said it has brought on Robert Thrash, rough last name there, as chief operating officer. The new hires mean the firm has finished staffing its executive team. Thrash joins ErisX from Barclays, where he was a managing director on teams in clearing and futures execution. So strong background in that from that perspective, which it was right in line with what they're trying to do with Bitcoin and crypto. He spent 12 years at the investment bank, previously working in prime services as a rates trader. Man, it's amazing to watch these things unfold because I've stated many times in 2016 when I got into the market late 20s, if I had this type of news was out, I would have bought so much more crypto at the lower prices, man. I wish I did, but you know what? This is my second chance, and I think for many of you it is too, where prices are dirt low right now, dirt cheap. And it's going to be different this time around because it's not just fluff. It's just not just speculation. There's actual things being built here, tangible services, companies, on-ramps, whatever it is, software, applications, all these things are being built for this market. And we see the governments are warming up and getting on board. So this is big. And speaking of governments, guys, Crypto's Global UAE to discuss blockchain and digital assets at 7th World Government Summit. But I thought crypto's dead. Why would these people be talking about crypto? According to some people, it's going to zero. Some it's a scam, pump and dump. But smart money and people who actually see beyond just the headlines, who just see beyond, oh, the price went up and then it came down, right? They see beyond that and see the actual building that's happened and the use case of the technology and the disruption, understand what's happening and what's to come. So the Ministry of Finance of the United Arab Emirates will discuss the development of blockchain and digital assets in the country's 7th World Government Summit. The news was reported by business outlet Gulf today. The MOF will hold 2 closed sessions devoted to global financial trends, including the development of blockchain and digital currencies, and building a feasible economic environment around the 2 technologies. The conference participants will also discuss the development of small and medium enterprises and governance of digital assets. So it looks like the IMF will be there as well. And looks the World Bank will participate. So this is a big meeting. This is not some joke. Obviously, the World Government Summit, right? So we also know that, and just the other day we were talking about exchanges in the Middle East, like Rain, which obviously is Sharia approved or whatever it is. I don't know how that all works, but all I know, it's good news that they have been approved to operate, and it looks like the Islamic folks there, Muslim folks, can actually participate on the exchange. We also know Ripple is working heavily within there, leveraging, working with banks and central banks to get usage of XRapid and XRP and so forth. So it's great to see across the board, different countries where sometimes there's roadblocks because of different types of governments or religion or things like that. Crypto is actually getting approval and getting set up within even some of the places you wouldn't expect it to. And that's why I'm so bullish on crypto overall in this market, because this thing is not just the United States, it's global, and there's going to be a lot of money coming into it. This is certainly the future, guys. Now, speaking of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse tweeted the following today, and this was news that was, being picked up across the board. But Ripple teams up with 10 new universities for a blockchain research initiative. So Ripple has partnered with 10 universities, and announcing the news on Thursday, the blockchain payments infrastructure firm said that the University Blockchain Research Initiative is aimed to help grow the blockchain technology ecosystem. Now joining the initiative are Carnegie Mellon, Cornell, Duke, Georgetown, Morgan State, Kansas, Michigan, and Northeastern universities in the United States, and the National University of Singapore and the University of Sao Paulo internationally. Last month, Ripple also partnered with the Institute of FinTech Research. And so what does this mean, right? What does this mean? Why am I even sharing this news with you? Well, keep in mind, the people at Ripple are so smart. Part of why they're partnering with these, it's kind of multiple benefits, or dual benefits or so. One, they're getting a lot of these universities to run validators for them, which makes the XRP ledger more decentralized. And it's already decentralized because Ripple only controls about 7% of the validators. Second, it opens up new opportunities for the spread of the education of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. And obviously, if Ripple's partner with these folks and funding some of them, it puts Ripple at the forefront of people who may have heard about crypto in passing, but now they get a download. And which brand do they see? Ripple. So there's a branding aspect. Third, it also opens up the opportunities where they could have these universities in some way, and I don't know, I'm just thinking about it logically, use XRP within their ecosystem. Think about the Ripple Spring Initiative, where they're inserting XRP into marketplaces and ecosystems. So let's see how they come up with some sort of, each college they're bridging together some sort of marketplaces for books or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas, but I absolutely believe that they're looking to do that because based on the track record of the folks at Ripple, they're making smart moves from a marketing standpoint, adoption, and just further building out their decentralization of the XRP ledger. So big move by Ripple. Now, we've been talking about this, guys, where if you can remember the FUD that came out that saying that some XRP is locked up so that the circulating supply is not even right. That FUD article that came out by, man, I can't remember it begins with an M. I forgot the name of it, but you guys saw that, right? It's just another round of FUD. Well, Weiss Ratings actually calls out those folks. Some say market cap for XRP is fake. You could argue that the Bitcoin market cap is also overstated because we know that that a large part of the circulating supply is lost forever. That is absolutely true. If you're going to handicap XRP's market cap, maybe you should do the same for all other coins, which is absolutely true. Because we know some are lost. We know just a whole set of issues with Mt. Gox and different things, right? A lot has been lost. So the actual circulating supply is not accurate there. Can you imagine how much Bitcoin has been lost? I mean, just from earlier years, people not knowing the value, what it would be, losing computers and all that. And as you can imagine, the same for Ethereum. There's probably a lot of Ether tokens lost. So if you're going to call out XRP for that, you have to do it across the board because, for example, one thing I always ask the Bitcoin maximalists, okay, who is Satoshi? Okay, you don't know who Satoshi is. Why does Satoshi have 1 million Bitcoin? Where is that Bitcoin? Right? So there's a lot of unanswered questions here, but the fraudsters are trying their best to really attack XRP because it's making progress, and I think it's coming from a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists. They're trying to fund these type of FUD articles, and this research was done. But, if you apply that research across the board to these different cryptos, the same could be said. So that's what Weiss Ratings is saying here. So now, Huobi reports 100% increase in trading volumes in 2018 over 2017. That's just not groundbreaking because we saw, at the end of 2017 is when things took off, and then into January it was, high. But it's good, at least, we're getting some of this data, but this is not surprising. Major global crypto exchange Huobi has reported a 100% growth in trading volume in 2018 over 2017. So I think that was probably ramped up, at the end. But what they're also seeing, to be fair, they're seeing some growth in the OTC. Their OTC trading desk. So we saw Circle saw a surge and Cumberland saw a surge. So big money has been buying over the counter. Man, and I can't believe some people this goes over their heads like, whew, they don't understand what's happening here. There's so much buying over the counter, it's ridiculous. And that's what the big money is doing. They're buying at bulk rates under market prices, and this is not logged on the exchanges. That's why you may see on whale alerts on Twitter, right? I told you guys to follow that. Movements of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, huge amounts. We're talking about like hundreds of thousands and millions and so forth. And none of it's on the exchange where it can impact the price. But eventually, what are these folks that are buying, like your ErisX and your Backed and these Fidelities and so forth, right? Because they have to have the crypto to sell. They're going to sell it, pump the market up, sell it with a commission and all that, bells and whistles and all that jazz to make their money. And that's where we will benefit, because then if they bought it low, right, they need it to go higher to make some significant profit. Let's be real here. And that's what's essentially happening. So Huobi's OTC trading desk has reportedly become one of the most traded OTC platforms worldwide. While the recently launched service, Huobi Cloud, has managed to enter in more than 100 partnerships over the 6 months. So, guys, the facts here, I mean, look at what the big money is doing. Building out services, buying over the counter, while people are complaining on social media about prices and why the price isn't going up because of the news. Not understanding market cycles, not understanding where we're at, with regulations and so forth. So I hope some of you get it. I think a good majority will, but there's still going to be those who come and complain and not really grasping what's taking place here. Now, Swiss Stock Exchange 6 plans blockchain platform in H2. So Switzerland's top stock exchange 6 aims to roll out a blockchain platform to speed up trading later this year. Reuters reported February 6 that SIX chairman Romeo Lacher said the planned new SIX digital exchange, SDX, will initially operate alongside the existing SIX platform. Currently, a trade takes several steps to complete, which can take days. However, using distributed ledger knocks out 2 stages and can reduce the trade life cycle to fractions of a second. So adoption of blockchain here, but you guys know about the crypto exchange aspect of what they're trying to do. So the exchange, and they're looking to offer a crypto trading service. It looks like they're going to integrate some blockchain technology here to speed up the whole process and integration between both versions. So guys, I know a lot of news, but certainly positive. And this is interesting where, you know, these folks here said the sentiment seems to be shifting to mildly bullish. So let's see what happens. Let's see what plays out. Be patient. And I always go back to, what if someone in 1994 came and told you about Amazon and Bitcoin? Would you have had the patience to wait? You know, if you had an opportunity to invest in those companies, to be patient and wait for their products and their services to be built out, for their value to increase. So something to think about, right? Perspective. And this is where you have to have a holistic perspective. So guys, what do you think about this news? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Leave them below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, check out my Patreon link in the description. And you can feel free to tip or do whatever you like. But thank you guys for your support.